Welcome once again back to the lab. It is your old Professor Pilk, and of course, we talk about the Chien-Pao raid that just dropped in the game. But before we do that, if this is your first time, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and make sure you guys like the video. I really appreciate it personally. But let's jump into the actual build here because I went once again with Annihilape. We've used this guy before on multiple raids. I would probably recommend the fighting Tera over the stellar Tera. I'll explain why in a little bit, but you definitely want to use metronome here, and there's a big reason for that. Now, if we go to IV training, EV training, make sure your IVs are maxed out. Go to all your hyper training, EV training, make sure you will have attack all the way up. I would recommend HP because with Crunch, he can lower your defense. I've had that happen a couple times. You just want to make sure that you have enough HP well that you can kind of soak up that damage. But the reason I said metronome is because our only real move we're going to use here, I know there's 3 moves on screen, we're just going Drain Punch. That is it. It is just Drain Punch. You really don't have time to bulk up, Screech. We even tried Belly Drum a couple other times. You just don't have time. It's not viable in this fight. I'll explain why when we get into the actual battle, and it'll make more sense. But it's just Drain Punch. Now, I didn't put any PP up in Drain Punch, and I still beat him, but I would highly recommend PP upping that thing, because just 10 attacks, you're right on the edge. Let's jump into the battle. I'll explain a little more why that is, but once again, if you've not already, make sure you hit that like button. Let's go ahead and jump into that battle, and I'll explain a little bit deeper why all that is. So the main thing you need to know as we hop into battle here is, well, first things first, we haven't talked about his moves. He's got 4 basic moves: Icicle Crash, Crunch, Ice Shard, and Sacred Sword. Now, the real nice part about my Stellar Tera is it takes Sacred Sword off the table, but if you have enough HP, I don't think it'll be a problem if you do have the Fighting Tera. And I mentioned before, Fighting Tera tends to do more damage. On paper, Fighting Tera and Stellar Tera should do the same damage, but for me, as you can see there, we're just doing Drain Punch. That is it. But for me, in practice, the Fighting Tera is supposed to do 100% damage, and the Stellar Tera seems to do about 120%. It's only really supposed to be the case with Tera Blast, but in Tera raids it still seems to be the case. So a Fighting Tera would be more potent, but either one would be fine. If you've built your Annihilape the same way I built Annihilape in the past, you'll be okay here. So once again, we're going in here with Drain Punch. This is our second Drain Punch, and it's already doing pretty respectable damage, but remember, each and every single one of these builds up and gets stronger and stronger. Plus, we're going to Terastallize here in a moment. You do want to Terastallize as early as possible. Now, the one thing I was kind of yakking through and that you kind of noticed there earlier, or hopefully noticed earlier, he does haze 3 times during this fight. 93% timer, 70% timer, and 35% timer. And because the timer moves so fast, by the time you do any buffing, he's wiping it out. Plus, he removes your stats at 65% HP and his stats at 40% HP. So really, you don't have any time to be effective with buffs and debuffs. So honestly, just Drain Punch. It's fine. As you'll see here in a moment, Drain Punch is more than potent enough to kind of break him down. There we go. Now, that was Drain Punch number 4, I think. It had to be at least 4 because we're Terastallized now. I believe that's 4. See, there's Haze again. So notice, had I been buffing, I'd have been back to normal stats here, and I wouldn't have been able to Terastallize by this point. So we're going to do another Drain Punch here. Now, he's using Icicle Crash a lot. That's going to kind of be his go-to, but he will use Crunch, and Crunch on me will be super effective. But because he's level 75 and I'm level 100, it's really never a problem. It just honestly never becomes an issue. There's the stat nullification. Again, had I tried to buff, it'd all be wiped out again. And here we're about, right about 50% timer. So here in just another 15% timer, he's going to do another haze. So it's, like I said, it's just not viable. But one more Drain Punch and we've got his shield broken, and then you'll really be able to see the amount of power that we have in that particular move. Let's go ahead and do it. He's paralyzed, which is great. Which means, well, I should be attacking first. It really doesn't matter, though. It's not... Never expect to be first with Annihilape. It's just not going to be a thing. Also, I kind of want to point out here, his barrier was supposed to be down, but for whatever reason the animation hadn't gone off, so we really didn't get the amount of damage we were supposed to get there. But check out this next hit. This is what I'm talking about. That should be pretty close, if not full power by that point. Because once again, on turn 6 with Metronome, you're doing 200% of your normal amount of damage. So you should be fine now. You should be completely in the clear. There should be no concerns at this point. In fact, that last hit just about wiped him out. I do believe that everybody else winds up taking him out while I'm still readying the next attack. So it's a really fast run. Just a crazy fast run. Very effective. And really, just about any Pokemon that has a high physical attack stat and has access to Drain Punch will probably be able to do roughly the same thing. Hariyama, Iron Hands, which is really just future Hariyama, really anyone like that. And of course, we've got the rewards here. Lots of XP candies. Lots of XP candies. But the main things, and I'll pause this here, but the main takeaways from this is you need to have your Pokemon at level 100. And you need to have your Pokemon bottle capped so that they are, hyper trained. Go do that in Montenerva. If you don't know how to do that, I have videos on the channel about that. Make sure you've done your EV training. If you don't know what EV training is, again, I have videos on the channel about that. But it's, just honestly, just go put protein and I think it's just health up or HP up. That's it. Proteins and HP up, 26 of each. You're good to go. If you need to reset everything and you got the DLC, you can actually get a fresh start mochi, and then you can kind of wipe out all those stats and go to town. There are berries and all that. All those various things you need to know in that regard are all going to be in videos on this channel, so you can search around for everything you need, and it'll all be at your disposal. Once again, guys, if you did enjoy this video, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button, and make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. Couple of final thoughts here. Remember that we are going to be getting, even though you can't catch him here, we have to beat this dude 1,000,000 times as a community. And then, like a week later, we're going to get our download code for him. So we just beat the snail, and Wo-Chien's, the Shiny Wo-Chien's code is actually coming on the 8th, I believe. I think it's on the 8th. Pretty sure it's on the 8th. On the 8th, we should be getting a download code for it. I'll drop a whole video on that. So make sure you guys check back for that, and I will kind of cover that in its own right. But we beat this guy 1,000,000 times. They're going to drop a code basically like next week so that we can go get the Shiny Chien-Pao. So after him, we've got the Bull Moose, and after that, we've got, I just did the math on that. It is literally a Bull Moose. Anyway. And then we've got the Firefish, and then once all that's said and done, we will probably wind up getting into box arts and things like that. So there is a lot more to come. But for now, go beat Chien-Pao. Like, share, comment, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.